Alright, I'm going to show you how to make Celtic links. And Celtic links are basically this part here that is a very simple thing to make, but it looks like a very intricate Celtic knot design. And the reason why I call them Celtic links is because you can just keep linking them together as long as chain you want. This is a bracelet. Or for earrings, I'd do, maybe one or two sets of links and perhaps put a dangle at the bottom of them. And this dangle here, which I'll also show you how to make, specifically complements the links by creating a single shape. But you can put any dangle you want at the bottom. For example, here's a necklace that just has a wrapped bead at the bottom. So anything that your imagination sees, you can make with these. I've done a lot of prep work already. Opened the jump rings. These are 3mm jump rings. I've pre-made some French hook ear wires. But the links themselves are made out of 2 pieces of 20 gauge wire that are cut 1.5 inches long and had the ends filed smooth. And then this link at the bottom is a 2-inch piece of wire, also 20 gauge. And I picked a 6mm bead here that I'll place in the dangle. I need at least 3 inches of finer gauge wire. I believe this is like 28 gauge to secure the bead to that link frame. So let's start with the Celtic links. Here I have my bail pliers with a lot of different sizes of curves on it. I'm going to use a 4mm curve for the small part of each link and 7mm for the larger part. So I'm just going to do the small parts first. It's easier because I have to rearrange it in my hand. So doing all of the 4mm curves first. And for the 2-inch one, I'll put one on each side. And you want to face the same direction. There, so now I have done all of the first pieces. Now I'll use the 7mm. Go in the opposite direction so that it's kind of like a figure 8, only with the 2 different sizes. That figure 8. There we go. And this one, I'll just wrap it around until the 2 eyes overlap. Just like so. So now that we have those pieces, we should hammer them so that they stay in the shape that they're in now. I'll use a steel bench block, and for the Celtic link pieces, I'll use a flat face hammer. So here's the flat face hammer. I'll rotate them around as I'm tapping them so that they have an even hammering. Now for this piece, I can't use the flat face because it has those 2 overlapping eyes, and that won't look very good with a flat face hammer. So I'll use just the round face hammer on the loop part. Hold it just off the edge and very lightly tap it. Alright, hammering is done. So now, if you see these two, let's tighten up their the loops, because the hammering sometimes gets them a little undone. Alright, tighten up that loop. This one looks good. Now, if you have them both facing exactly the same direction as one another, flip one upside down and place it on top. You get that Celtic knot design. For this one, we want to secure the bead on it before we start assembling it all together. So, have my bead, have my wire, place it right through the center, and then we'll just get the ends and loop them both in and around. You want roughly the same length on the ends. You want the ends long like this so that it's easier to grip. But I want to go around a loop 2 or 3 times and use my chain nose pliers to do a little adjusting and tightening on the way. I can make sure those loops sit close together there. Don't want to do too much on the one side without doing the other side, so that it is even, and you make sure you do the same thing on both sides. I think I'm going to come up once more on both sides. And then I will use this to make sure it's good and tight. Alright, so now we've got wire holding the bead to the frame, but let's put the wire now over toward the top. See the way that is? Grab it from the bottom, pull it through. Now you don't want to pull it too tight, but I'll send that through there twice. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so that creates a little more loopy detailing on the side so that it's not just a raw end of the bead coming out. And then finally, we'll get these ends out like this and send them around the frame above where the bead is. And you can see as these ends get shorter and shorter, it's harder and harder to deal with just your fingers. You have to use the chain nose pliers. So I'm just going to go 2 loops around and then use this to put those loops close together. Tighten them a little bit more. Alright. And they look good and tight. We can trim the ends. I have my wire cutters for trimming the ends. And then make sure that you get those ends down. Okay. So there is the dangle. Now we're ready to assemble. We just want to put all the pieces together with these jump rings. So we'll do, let's see. I have this facing this direction, so let's face that direction. All right, so this looks good. We'll place this one on top of this one, like that. Let's get this jump ring. And I have to do this one next. And this one. And use another pair of pliers to close the jump ring. Twisting it closed. Very small. All right, so that's one jump ring. You gotta get another one going through the same thing. Loop through these, up through here. And it's closed. So it dangles on. And now we just need to secure the top with 2 more jump rings. That's one. That's 2. last jump ring is to attach the ear wire. Go through the two and make sure everything's facing the right direction. That's the front. All right, and there we have it. See how it compares to the one that was already made. All right, perfect.